Hello, my name is Alejandro Villegas, and this is the final delivery for the English Project 5 and 6. We will be talking about one of the most favorite stories from Edgar Allan Poe, a little bit of his biography, and some of the main characters of the stories. Edgar Allan Poe was born in January 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts, United States. He died in October 7, 1849, in Baltimore, Maryland. He got married with Virginia Elizabeth Cline Poe, who died in 1847, just 2 years before him. However, Edgar Allan Poe is best known for his short stories such as Telltale Heart, The Black Cat, and many more. Poe's father and mother, both professional actors, died before the poet was 3 years old. John and Frances Allan raised him as a foster child in Richmond, Virginia. John Allan, a prosperous tobacco exporter, sent Poe to the best boarding schools and later to the University of Virginia, where Poe excelled academically. Edgar Allan Poe's imaginative storytelling and tales of mystery and horror gave birth to the modern detective story. Poe got married with his cousin Virginia when she was only 14 years old and he was 24 years old. Despite his awards and recognition, Poe had financial problems. Poe died in a Baltimore hospital in 1849, and his last words being, "Lord, help my poor soul," went throughout his writing career. The Black Cat tells the story of a man who was a lover of animals for a long time, but alcohol caused mockery and malicious effects on him. This man had many animals on his house, but the one he loved the most was his black cat named Pluto, which also seemed to love him back. One day, the man came drunk to the house, and in an evil punishment, the man pulled the eye of the cat with a knife. From that moment, the cat seemed to hate him. In the same way, the man decides to hang his cat. At the same time, his house burns down, and there was only one figure of a gallows painted in the wall. Days later, he finds a cat just like the one he just killed. He decides to take him home, however, the cat reminding him what he had done with Pluto. The man, driven mad for what he has done, he wanted to kill his new cat to eliminate the guilt. However, by mistake, he killed his wife. So he built a wall in his house to hide the dead body there. From that moment, the cat did not appear anymore, so he thought he had freed himself from him. Days later, when the police went into his house to investigate the disappearance of his wife, a meow was heard between the walls, and that is how they found the body of the dead wife. In The Black Cat, we are able to see how the main character, who was at first an animal lover, became to be a malicious and suspicious and mystery guy because of the alcohol. He said that he knew what he was doing, however, he couldn't stop doing it. Some of the critics says that these malicious effects were caused by the alcohol. However, other critics says that these effects of evil that were causing him were because of the devil that went into him. The Telltale Heart tells the story of a man who begins to feel bothered by the eye of an old man who lives with him. He begins to be formal with him and supply all of his needs. But one day, the man started to having the desire to kill this old man. The reason he gave was because of his eye was terrifying. From that day, he began to plan how he was going to kill him. He went to his room every night to watch him while he slept. One night, when he watched him, the eye of the old man suddenly opened. Terrified, the man suffocated him with a pillow to kill him. So he hid the dead body under the floor of the house. But he begins to hear the heartbeat of the old man. He thought that they sounded so loud that everybody could hear, even the neighbors in the next house. The next morning, the police arrives to his house to investigate, and the man, pretending nothing happened, invites them to have a cup of tea. Suddenly, the man begins to hear the heartbeat again, and he believes the police is also hearing those heartbeats, and they're making fun of him. The man, crazy with the palpitations of the heart, decides to reveal the whole truth. In the Telltale Heart, we see how the narrator, which is the same as the main character of this story, declares himself as not mad or insane. However, throughout the whole story, we see how his behaviors are not that sane. It is interesting to see how he got uncomfortable with the eye of the old man, to the point of wanting to kill him. The same as when he gets scared because he feels that everybody is hearing the heartbeats of the dead body. However, it is not strange to see this type of characters from all of the Edgar Allan Poe short stories.